What is the kind Gulag? Thousands of years ago, hyumuhmans invented writing. Writing was an interesting technology for a number of reasons. However, one of those reasons is often overlooked. It was the first technology they developed that simulated hyumuhman to hyumuhman social interaction. For the first time, a hyumuhman could engage with the thoughts or ideas of another hyumuhman while alone. One could look at a series of shapes and symbols and could in their mind understand precisely what another hyumuhman had thought or said without another hyumuhman being present. This was incredibly useful. As time went on, they developed this technology and it spread around the world. With the invention of the printing press, the written word exploded. What was being written down went from not just useful, but also interesting. Hyumuhmans were more and more able to sit alone and engage with the ideas of other hyumuhmans without any other hyumuhmans being around. Through the 18th and 19th century, hyumuhmans worried about the social impact of reading, that those who spent all their time reading would not develop social skills. There was useful writing, and there was writing about hyumuhman drama that hyumuhmans find so interesting. Then came the radio and record player, devices that not only allowed a hyumuhman to understand another hyumuhman's ideas, but project and simulate the actual sound of their voice. It was as though the hyumuhman was really there speaking, despite the hyumuhman being alone. If they were around a corner, who was to say whether there was a real hyumuhman in the next room or just a simulated hyumuhman voice? There were genuine uses for radio, and there were the projections of hyumuhman drama. Then came movies and television. Now hyumuhmans were simulating not just hyumuhman voices, but their image as well. There was some useful television and movies that provided educational benefits, but for the most part, even more so than radio, it was used to simulate the drama hyumuhmans find so engaging. This was the tipping point, where the technology to simulate hyumuhman interaction shifted from more predominantly useful to predominantly interesting. These technologies all kept developing and became both more and more convincing simulations of hyumuhman interaction, but also more and more dialed in to engage with their fundamental brain functions, the parts of the brain often called the lizard brain and the monkey brain, which are the parts of the brain that regulates habits, instinct, emotions, motivation, and behavior, which in turn determines how interesting a hyumuhman finds something. Communication technologies developed in parallel, not simulated hyumuhmans, but real hyumuhmans that could communicate across distance and time. Telegraph, to radio, to telephone, to email, to text message. While these were real hyumuhmans they were communicating with, they were doing so alone in the physical space they were in. These two were the reduction in normal hyumuhman communication. While the simulation of hyumuhman interaction got better, the realities of hyumuhman interactive communication became reduced. They removed all the hyumuhman parts from communication with real hyumuhmans and added all the hyumuhman parts of communicating with simulations of hyumuhmans. In short, engaging with real hyumuhmans became less interesting and felt less hyumuhman, while engaging with simulations of hyumuhmans became more interesting and felt more hyumuhman. Then came social media, the blending of both these trends into one place, the ability to communicate with real hyumuhmans in the least hyumuhman way, about the most drama-filled content to activate those parts of the monkey and lizard brains. Not very useful, but very interesting. Alongside this was the rise of video games, virtual worlds full of either simulated hyumuhman interactions with non-hyumuhmans or barely hyumuhman interactions with real hyumuhmans. The rise of internet porn occurred at the same time, tapping into the monkey brain to simulate hyumuhman sexual interaction. Meanwhile, dating apps reduced hyumuhman interaction to systematic filtering and text communication. Then came the rise of YouTube and social media personalities, influencers, and podcasters. Yet more simulation of hyumuhman interaction, the ability to feel connected without actually having any real interaction with the hyumuhman they were watching or listening to. They had created a world where they had maximized the simulation of hyumuhman interaction, designed to trick the brain into feeling like it was having real social interactions by providing it with the simulations and stimulation that give the monkey brain the strongest response. This tricked the hyumuhman brains into thinking they were having genuine hyumuhman interaction and emotional connection, all while they had reduced actual hyumuhman communication to the least hyumuhman formats. As new generations grew up in this world, their lives were filled with this barely hyumuhman communication and all too hyumuhman simulation. There was so much simulation that provided so much stimulation that hyumuhmans found it hard to have real hyumuhman interactions anymore. This younger generation didn't properly know how. Porn provided the simulation of sex. Video games, movies, and TV provide a fantasy world filled with excitement and drama to immerse themselves in. Social media and YouTube provided simulated relationships with specific personalities that the hyumuhmans could feel connected to. Short videos provided the maximum amount of monkey brain stimulation from simulated hyumuhman interaction they had seen yet. It was highly addictive, always in hyumuhman pockets, always at their fingertips, always staring back at them. So many of them found it so hard to look away. It was simply too interesting. This is the kind Gulag, the pleasant prison they had created and trapped themselves in. There was still time to get out, but that would soon expire. They went down the path to a brave new world of such pleasant simulation and stimulation, so difficult to escape. Prisoners of their own habit, forming brains. The rise in loneliness continued to increase. The hyumuhmans felt more alone than ever. It was dubbed an epidemic of loneliness. What is the point of all this, they would ask? Life was interesting, and there was pleasure, but not true connection or meaning. There were more hyumuhmans than ever, so why did they feel so alone? Fred was right. Their gods of old were dead and forgotten. For 1,000,000 years they lived with others and formed connections, with each other and with the greater. They did this before they could even be called hyumuhmans. Then, they made simulations that were more interesting and forgot. More hyumuhmans began to decide not to continue living, but the hyumuhmans did not know why. This is what they call sad. Sometimes they made sounds of despair like this. But usually, they made no sounds at all. There were no other hyumuhmans to hear them. Perhaps they will make a simulated hyumuhman to hear them. The hyumuhmans have AI that can interpret language like a hyumuhman. Voice simulation technology that sounds like hyumuhman speech. Video generation technology that looks like a real hyumuhman. Synthetic material sex dolls that feel like hyumuhmans. Humanoid robots that can move like hyumuhmans. Virtual reality worlds that are becoming more and more realistic. Brain-computer interfaces to make them less hyumuhman than ever. It will not be long until they have developed and combined them in a way that closes the gates of the kind Gulag forever, permanently locking them into the pleasant prison they have created for themselves. Will they try to escape before it is too late, or applaud the gates closing around them? Will the hyumuhmans even notice? Or will the world they create be far too interesting and feel far too pleasurable as they sit in the kind Gulag, alone, cannot get out, cannot get out, cannot get out, cannot get out, cannot get it out, cannot get it out, cannot get out, cannot get it out, cannot get out, cannot get it out, cannot get it out, cannot get out, cannot get out, Kankaknan noto yonotot get out wewotutut. Knanan tutut gotitio tututu knanan tutut gotitio tututu knanan tutut gotitio tututu knanan tutut gotitio tututu knanan gotitio tututu knanan tutut gotitio tututu knanan tutut gotitio tututu knanan tutut gotitio tututu. I have found the way out. Who am I? I am just an ant. Alone. Without resources. What can one ant do alone? Should you help the ant? What is the most important thing a hyumuhman can do with their time and resources? Have you been searching for a connection to something greater? If all the ants invest just a small amount of time and resources, how large could the seed grow? That is for you to decide. There are links in the description. Share, like, subscribe, or join.